Hey, y'all. This is Miss FactsandFire herself, Afeni Evans, and you are watching DHQ, your one stop shop for politics, culture, and news. Now, I would say we have a packed show for you today, but I really have only one thing to talk about, and it's you, foundational Black Americans. Wow. Let's get into it, shall we? Now, it's been an interesting little week for me over here in Facts and Fireland. I made a TikTok saying that you cannot be pro black and be pro America. And the foundational Black Americans, foundational, okay, they have been screaming and crying and kicking in my mentions ever since. Now, you're asking yourself, Afeni, who are these foundational Black Americans? What makes them so foundational? Let's talk about it. The foundational Black Americans, okay? They are not a formal organization by any stretch of the imagination. No organizing infrastructure at all, actually, from what we can tell. But they are a group that designates themselves based on their ability to trace their lineage back on this land. Now, let's get into what they say on their website, okay? Because even they will admit that they descend from enslaved African peoples, okay? In 1526, Spanish colonizer Lucas Vasquez de Leon brought the first documented enslaved people to the shores of what is now South Carolina and the Georgia coastline. You can go on officialfba.com and you can read that for yourself. It's on their front page, actually. They also say that these freed Black people integrated with local Native societies, marking a pivotal and often overlooked chapter in lineage and the cultural evolution of the foundational Black Americans. So these quote unquote foundational Black Americans may tell themselves that they are noble protectors of their ancestries and their ancestral legacy, but they are, in fact, more akin to the European colonizers that started this American project. People who thought that their privileges and that their entitlement was only reserved for exclusive groups. Okay? There are so many different political entry points where these people overlap with the white supremacist power structure. But let's just name a few. They threatened to call ICE on Black and brown immigrants. They're also anti-LGBTQ plus, and they're anti-abortion. Now, if that does not sound like a conservative Republican-led group to you, then what else is it? If a politic of exclusion and exceptionalism and of American patriotism that seeks to subjugate people that are outside of our borders, what is that if it is not a white supremacist Republican conservative ideology? Please, you tell me, okay? Now, let's talk about Pan-Africanism because I myself, I'm a Pan-Africanist, okay? I believe in in solidarity and the unity of all African peoples all over the diaspora, no matter where we are geographically. We are all African peoples, okay? The Pan African movement is a nationalist movement that aims to encourage and strengthen the bonds of solidarity between all indigenous peoples and diasporas of African ancestry. Okay? Again, everywhere where there are Black people, everywhere there are people, there are Black people. You cannot find a single society or civilization across this globe that has not been touched by African influence. Period. Because we were the creators of civilization. Why? Why is that controversial to say to these foundational Black Americans? You might need to ask them what that's about. Because let me tell you something. There have always been Black people who were born on this land who have supported the rights and solidarity with people from all over the diaspora. W.E.B. Du Bois, Malcolm X, the Combahee River Collective members, Edward Wilmot Blyden, all Black people who understood and emphasized the interconnected nature of all of the struggles of African people in the diaspora. Because we all have one common enemy. And that common enemy is the system that continues to subjugate us. That common enemy is the system that enslaved, beat, and ate our ancestors after they kidnapped them off of the shores of Africa. Now, you can say whatever you want to say. Oh, these people sold this person and this person happened here. Baby, at the end of the day, when we look around and we look up and down, all of this shit only serves to edify what? Whiteness and white supremacy. So what the fuck are we actually talking about? Mr. Phillip over there at Africa Diaspora News Network, what are we actually talking about? Can we be for real? Okay? Because I guess I just tapped in to say that 1 in 3 black men in America can expect to be shot or incarcerated. They can expect to be shot by the police, or they can expect to be incarcerated and enslaved to make goods for corporations in this country. 1 in 3. Now, let me ask y'all something. Do you think that before the police pull the trigger, they're like, well, wait, but are you a foundational black American? Do you think that they're asking for niggas' freedom papers before they haul them down to the station and book them and process them? No. Because guess what? We are all niggas to them. They don't give a fuck if you're black Caribbean, black American. They don't care if you're black and Jamaican. They don't care. Because 1 in 3 black men in America, no designation, can expect to be shot by the police or incarcerated. When we put it in perspective, why are we trying to separate ourselves and delineate when the system that we are fighting against is delineating shit? Who are we? Y'all are skipping some steps as far as I'm concerned. Y'all trying to get to some cultural delineation, baby. We haven't even got to the root of the goddamn problem. And the root of the problem is racialized capitalism. The root of the problem is the white supremacist system that continues to subjugate us and continues to strip our rights from us. That is the root of the fucking problem. And here's the thing. I am a free thinking, open-minded person, okay? I am not saying that you're not allowed to align yourself and have the politic of white supremacists. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is do not be appalled, do not be surprised when somebody calls you out on your bullshit. Do not be surprised when somebody looks up and says, hey, baby, all the black people, all the African people, all the indigenous people, we're all over here. And you're over there with the folks with the white hoods. So, I guess I'll said all that to say this. If you ask me, you niggas is short-sighted. Okay? Because your barrier of entry to sell yourself and your humanity and the black community down the river in order to get access to the American identity, it's a little low, baby. It's a little low. 40 acres and a mule, that shit would have been cool 150 years ago. We past that now. We're past that now, okay? There is no check that is big enough for me to sell myself and my people down the fucking river. There's no price that will make me validate the white supremacist power structure and assimilate to being a settler on stolen land. Period. What I see for myself and what I see for all African peoples across the diaspora is bigger than that. I see so much more for us. And what I see cannot be bought. It cannot be taken away. It cannot be stripped from us easily. What I want for myself and for my people is full fucking liberation. I want self-determination. I want to go back to indigenous ways of land stewardship and reciprocity. I want to go back to ways of governance that actually edify the communalism that is rooted within our ancestral being as black people. That's what I see for ourselves. And God forbid a nigga has some motherfucking vision. That I can imagine myself outside of the confines of the capitalist system that white people have told me is acceptable and respectable. Excuse me for wanting more than a capitalist system that says that we are not good enough to be full fucking human beings on this land. That no matter what we do, no matter how hard we try, no matter how high we totem pole, that we are still Negroes to them. I have no desire to assimilate into that system, baby. I dream bigger for myself, and so should you. And so should you. So I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all can keep y'all reparations. I don't need no money from this system. I don't need blood-soaked money from the United States government. What I need is for this country to be removed from the power and the access that it has to subjugate people at all. And I love all Black people, including y'all. I love my people so much that I refuse to accept that my wealth and that my comfort needs to be built on the backs of the Black people and the African people of the global South. I love my people so much that I can imagine them outside of a country and an identity that has never actually been for them in the first place. I love my people enough to love all of my people, no matter where they are, because we are all sharing a common enemy in this motherfucker. And it ain't nobody that looks like me and you. Thank you so much for tapping in with us here at DHQ. If you felt something, which I'm sure you FBA motherfuckers did, go ahead and say something in the comments. Host me in the algorithm, baby. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never, ever, ever miss anything that's coming, because the culture never sleeps, and neither do we.